According to the Washington Post, millions of families are at risk of eviction. Countless thousands of others have had to file bankruptcies or endure foreclosures. I've been poring through newspapers ever since May of 2021 in hopes of finding word of programs that can help me. My searches have been unsuccessful because story after story, article after article have for the most part told a one-sided account. $46 billion worth of programs have risen to be the champion of certain people affected by this crisis. The Tenant. I have rarely found anything in mainstream media that conveyed my side of the story. I am the small landlord. I haven't received rent for my property since March of 2020. The newspapers say it's because of the pandemic. I say it's due to a select group of people who have chosen to use what is happening in the world to get over on people like me. This is my story.
You know what? This camera is the absolute bomb.com when it comes to adjusting for this light, because y'all, it is dark outside. It is dark in this car, but y'all can't even tell because the camera is not going to let us see what reality is. So basically today is August 6th. So I went ahead and filed all of the paperwork for the eviction. And y'all was there. It was a little bit of a learning curve. It was, it just wasn't as intuitive as I thought it would be. And my property manager, she was helping me virtually, but it was our times, like I was working on it like 9 o'clock at night, then at 6 in the morning. I was trying to work on it between work hours. And then that's when I decided, I was like, you know what, I need to leave work, go home and just focus on this solely because it needs to get in. And so I did that. And then it was rejected later that afternoon, like about maybe 3 p.m. The first applications were rejected, but it told me why it was rejected. And the reason for the rejections were I did not properly label my supporting documents, my supporting evidence. So come to find out, in the drop down there was an option for supporting documents. I didn't see that because there was so many things in that drop down. And so I changed everything so that they were properly labeled. And then it was rejected because I didn't pay the sheriff's fee. Now, when I went back into the application, I was like, okay, where do I pay the sheriff's fee? Like, I didn't see anything for that. I didn't see a checkbox, a click here, I called the help desk and got somebody on the line, and they were able to help me. Actually, we went through it together because I told them what I was looking for. I gave them my number so that they can read the notes on the rejection envelope. And then they told me how to do the sheriff's fee. Well, we kind of figured it out together because we were going through the system, because he was looking, he was like, because he was telling me one thing, but I was like, no, I don't see that. So come to find out, in that drop down, there's a whole nother drop down that says something like sheriff, constable, something, right? So it's another form. It's another form that you have to file, that you have to fill out. So I did that, and then it asks for the support and document for that. And I'm asking the person on the phone, like, what would be the support and document? And he told me the support and document will be the stamped document that they give you. And I'm like, well, who gives me a stamped document? I'm like, I don't have any stamped documents. My file was rejected. And he told me to just go ahead and resubmit the file with the supporting documents, but not with the sheriff's thing. He said, because that doesn't make sense. They have to give you a stamp thing for you to do the sheriff thing. And so, but then I'm thinking, if they rejected it because of the sheriff thing, let me just go ahead and add the sheriff piece, and then let me go ahead and use the original form that I filled out, the DCC, whatever it was, and attach that to it. And then I wrote in the comments why this is not yet stamped or accepted, but this is the original form, right? Because then I said in my mind, perhaps, they know they'll stamp and accept it, and at least they have it ready to go. Maybe that was their process, right? So I did that, and then I had to find the other drop downs to add the fee. Like the fee didn't automatically add. And so I found that, and that was like a $40 fee. So I paid that, and I added that to both files, and I submitted that. So as of yesterday, the 5th of August, at around 8:41 a.m., my files were accepted. I got a case number, and that was awesome. Now, what I noticed was, okay, I got a case number. The case says me versus her, yay. And I didn't have a date, so I said, let me call them because I knew I was about to get ready to go on vacation, and I did not want to get a date when I wasn't even going to be available. And then that was going to be a whole nother thing, trying to get that date changed or whatever. So I said, let me call the courts. And I did. And I finally got around to the right department that I needed, which was district court, such and such and such and such. And so that turned out to be so awesome. The timing was awesome because the person I talked to, she was the backup person. The main person was out. And she says, because normally when they accept the file, they go ahead and put in the court date then and there. And the court date is usually always scheduled out 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks I would not have been here in the continental U.S. So I was like, okay, good thing I'm calling, and good thing that she was out. Because she said, had there been a court date, I would have had to file a motion to have the court date postponed, delayed, rescheduled, whatever it was. I was going to have to file a whole motion, meaning going through a whole nother set of documents and whatnot. Ain't nobody got time. So luckily she was able to add a note to the file so that when she comes in today, she'll be able to see the note, and they're going to schedule it on the day that works for me. That's in the notes. And she gave me her name and all of that stuff, and she told me to call back today to see the court date. So I should be able to look online and see the court date, because remember, I signed up for the online account, so now I can go online and check on everything. So I should be able to do that, but if not, I can always give them a call. And then again, if I get a date where I'm not here, I can always call back and reference the conversation that I had yesterday, because I got the name of the person I spoke with, the time, all of that stuff. So everything looks like it is moving along, y'all. And guys, yes, I have been way too nice, way too kind during this process. And I think it's because I was really giving her a benefit of the doubt, even though we know. I mean, Spirit always knows. But I was trying to really give her a benefit of the doubt, benefit that, I don't know, maybe she will just go ahead and move out, any kind of benefit. Part of me said, before filing for eviction, the goal is to get her out of my home, and you can't get out of a home if you can't get another home. So therefore, if you have notice to move, you can take that time between that time of the notice and the time that you have to move to find something before something actually hits your report, your credit report, right? Because once you file for eviction, what ends up happening is, even though the case isn't here, the pending case is now public. Like you can see that there is now a pending case against a person. Like that happens immediately. So I really wanted to give her the best opportunity to find something. She didn't take advantage of that kindness, of that blessing, any of that. And of course, it's almost like, well, how we know? Well, there's always that thing. It's like, girl, you should have just started the eviction stuff, right? Because soon as somebody doesn't pay rent, I feel that within days, don't quote me on it because I didn't research that. What I researched was how much did I have to give her to terminate the lease, which was 30 days, right? But when you don't pay your rent, you don't have to give somebody 30 days. So basically, I mean, it is what it is. I really feel like everything is in divine order. Everything happens for a reason. And woof, when my cousin called me about needing money for the girls to go to college, that broke me. That broke me. Had I already finished this process, it wouldn't have. So I really feel like all things work together for everybody involved, because that right there gave me some awesome wake-ups. One of the wake-ups is this: we work toward financial freedom, we work toward financial independence, we work to hit milestones, right? And when I discovered and realized that I was a millionaire, I was still feeling like, well, I'm a millionaire, but I can't help anybody because I have this thing hanging over my head. I have a tenant who is squatting in a property that I am paying for. I'm essentially taking care of a grown person. And the worst part about taking care of a grown person is when you have to take care of a grown person you don't even like. And then the sad part, like I said, all of this stuff happened because of my cousin. In that conversation, y'all, yesterday, oh my gosh, I wish I would have recorded yesterday, because I was boo-hoo crying like it was so funny, because I had my sisters on the phone, because I was trying to tell them something, but I kept breaking down into all these tears, because it's really broke me. The idea that you have people on this planet, good people, who deserve help, who you would be honored to help, but yet there's other people who you feel are holding your options and your money hostage, and they are robbing you of that help. They are forcing you to extend your resources toward them and their trash life. I'm gonna call it what it is. I tried to sit here and think of good words to define her, to whatever, but I can't. It's like, call it what it is. Her trash self, and every trash decision she ever made, has led to this, and it has involved me. It has pulled me in. We're involved in this together. But yesterday is when I really felt fed up for the first time. I hadn't felt fed up. I hadn't felt much of anything. You guys see me. I kind of felt like, oh well, it'll all work out. It is all good, and that is all still true. But yesterday, when I juxtaposed her and my cousin, who has 11 kids, 11 awesome, beautiful kids, 3 of which are going to college this year. 3 girls. 3, because she has a set of twins. 3. And that's what she needed a little help with. Most people struggle with 1 kid trying to do a thing. This girl has 11 babies, 2 which was given custody to her because their parents weren't able to care for them. She gladly, open-heartedly took on 2 additional babies in addition to her 9. And when she calls, and she hardly ever calls, she hardly ever takes money from me, because I be trying to give her money from other things, like I'll stay at her house and everything with her and all her kids, and she won't take money. But when she called, because she's at a place, she feels she's stuck between a rock and a hard place, I'm sitting here like, girl, my money tied up. And yesterday, the shackles were broken. My money is not tied up. This is my money that I work for, that I plan for, that I sacrifice for, that I strategize for, that I get to do what I want with. So yes, this girl is living in my investment, because let's call it what it is. It's my investment, right? So she's living in my investment free of charge. Free. She's been living there free since March of 2020. Even though all the way up until August 1st, Section 8 had been supplementing her, all that meant was she had been living off of the government for all of this time, for all of these years. That's all that means. Off of the government with no intention to better her lot in life. So not only is she robbing somebody else who may need that help, because she refuses to do anything to make herself a better human being, So not only that, but now she's sitting here and trying to rob my family of valuable resources that could be extended and gifted towards to them. That's where I'm sitting here like, no. I'm calling. I'm going to make sure we have a date, that I'm available, because this girl got to go. And I don't care where she goes. She can go on the street. I don't care. She can go somewhere on the street. And it is what it is. Because I know, like, again, y'all, we are sensitive creatures. We be seeing people who are homeless and this, that, and the other, and our hearts go out to them. But you know what? There's some people where this is what they do. This is what they did to their own selves. They did this to themselves. And my heart is not going out to her no more. My heart went out to her even when she was doing me wrong.